Shalom Akim, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakwakadash, double honors and salutations to the elders and apostles of Group Mr. Well. This is Brother Nash of DC Camp, another short lesson to show the Akim that, the Most High is always impressing Akim with his sense of humor. So here's a quick video to edify the hopeful elect. Because you see, in Esau's system, you always hear about injustices, but the Most High is always the one that's orchestrating these things to happen, because it's part of prophecy, okay? So I'm going to play this video real quick, and then I'll get the precepts to back it up.
Last month in Lake County, Illinois, just north of Chicago, 6 teenagers allegedly tried to break into a car. The owner shot and killed one of them, a 14-year-old boy. The story has garnered a lot of press in Illinois, not just because of the tragedy, but because the 5 other teens were all charged with the boy's murder. How could this be? NewsHour Weekend's Megan Thompson takes a look at the little-known legal statute behind the case. A warning, this story contains images some viewers might find disturbing.
On the morning of February 23, 2015, 5 teenagers drove to the end of a quiet street in Millbrook, Alabama, about 10 miles north of Montgomery. The teens, who were armed, broke into an empty house, stealing electronics and money, then went up the block to another empty home. A suspicious neighbor called 911.
Well, I think we got them blocked off right now if you're still there.
2 Millbrook police officers soon arrived. One went in the front, the other along the side. Gunfire broke out. As the second officer ran towards the backyard, one of the teens, 16-year-old Adante Washington, came through a back gate carrying a gun. The officer hit Washington 3 times. He died at the scene. Andre Washington is Adante's father.
It's a good son, good child.
Washington remembers his son as a quiet kid who dreamed of playing football for the University of Florida.
Full of energy when he was real young, just full of energy. After high school, he wanted to go to the Florida Gators.
As the shock of his son's death sunk in, Washington learned something else shocking. Though none had pulled the trigger, the 4 other teens at the house were all being charged not just with burglary and theft, but with murder. The murder of Adante Washington.
It's crazy.
Do you think the other boys are responsible for Adante's death?
No.
In Alabama, a murder conviction can bring a sentence of up to 99 years. 3 of the teens took plea deals. The 4th, Lakeith Smith, was offered 25 years, but he rejected it and took his case to court. C.J. Robinson is the Chief Deputy District Attorney for Alabama's 19th Circuit.
He didn't pull the trigger. He didn't kill anybody. So how can he possibly be charged with murder?
I think that's a great question. And, to answer that question, you really have to look at Alabama law. When you look at how that law is on the books and how it's applied in Alabama, it goes to the foreseeable factor, all right?
In Alabama, the law says all suspects can be charged with murder if a death occurs during a felony that's clearly dangerous to human life. Another legal standard used is that the death was foreseeable.
Do I think when I break into this house, an officer is going to come running in and we're going to get in a gunfight? Is that foreseeable? Yes.
Robinson also based his decision on the fact that the group was charged in other crimes in Montgomery in the 36 hours before Washington was killed. One defendant pled guilty to murder. Charges of kidnapping and robbery are still pending against Lakeith Smith.
When you're engaging in a series of the most dangerous behavior that's out there, the question for us was, is it foreseeable that someone could die based off these 5 young men's conduct? Our answer was absolutely.
Alabama's law is based on something called the felony murder rule, a centuries-old legal concept. Stephen Drizzen is a clinical professor at Northwestern University's Pritzker School of Law.
So in its purest form, the felony murder rule means that if you commit a felony and during the course of that felony somebody dies, you can be convicted of first-degree murder, the most serious crime on our statute books. Even if you didn't intend to kill the person who died, even if the death was accidental.
42 states have some form of a felony murder rule, and it's a...
And that's the point there, Akim. So I'm going to get to some quick precepts just to edify real quick. So this is from the book of Daniel, chapter 4. All right, just let it load. All right, so this is going to be from the book of Daniel, chapter 4, verse 17. It says, "This matter is by the decree of the watchers, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men." All right, the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Ba'ashem Kadash runs the show. All right, and He giveth it to whomsoever He will, and setteth over it the basest of men. And when you look at that, the Hebrew word for watchers, the word there is ayar. Ayar. And then it says, watcher, that is an angel, a guardian, a watcher, alright. So it says, alright, a god, a watcher, a name of angels in the latter Hebrew, from the garden of souls of men. Alright, so the angels of the Lord, man, they determine the direction the minds of these people takes, man. The ones that are destined for destruction, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai got to make sure, they fulfill their purpose. All right. And then, when you keep on digging into the precept, you see that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai Ba'ashim Kwakadash is not going to allow Esau to repent, man, because his fate has already been sealed. All right. So it doesn't matter what Esau tries to do. The Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has already held him guilty. So of all the nations, man, when you read about Edom in the Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary, it says Edom, the only nation upon the face of the earth among all the nations that will never receive mercy from the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. So Esau is going to be eradicated, man, and these elite Edomites, they know that. All right, and then you look at Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1, it says, "Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they have prescribed." All right, so all these laws that they put on the books is the Most High that's making them put it, and then they're going to be held accountable. All right, that's a beautiful thing, man. The Most High set them up, for failure, and these Edomites, they don't want to, accept the power of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. They think that they're in control, but they're not. All right, and for all that they've done to the nation of Israel, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they try, their damn best to deny it, and say, well, we didn't do this. It wasn't us. This generation of Edomites say, it didn't have nothing to do with me. My forefathers didn't own no slaves. But the Musa didn't care about that, man. It was going to hold the whole nation accountable. And that's the point right there, man. We never killed no black people. We didn't kill no Native Americans. We didn't kill no Latinos. We just want to live our life in peace. But the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai says no. All right, the whole nation of Edom is going to be wiped off the face of the earth. As much as they hate the gospel, the truth of the gospel, there's nothing they could do about it. The heathens, they have the other heathens, the Elam, Ishmael, Ham, Moab, Japhet, Ammon. They all have, they have an opportunity, to leave. But these Edomites, they are pissed off, man, that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is going to wipe them off the face of the earth. And, and when you keep reading the scriptures, it tells you what the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai has in store for these Edomites, man. All right, so you look at Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 7. And it says, all that found them have devoured them. All right, so the heathen nations that devoured our people. All right, Ishmael, Ham, Moab, Ammon, Japhet. All right, they all had a hand, in taking our people down. Taking advantage of our people to this very day. All right, all that found them have devoured them, And their adversaries said, We offend not, because they have sinned against the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahshua, Ba'ashem Kakadash, the habitation of justice, even the Lord, the hope of their fathers. Alright, all these nations know that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites the Bible speaks of, and they understand that judgment is coming. That's why they're walking in the background, walking under darkness, in secret, to build a space program to come against the Lord. But they're going to fail miserably. Alright, and Esau is going to be the one that's going to take the brunt of everything, man. He's going to be the one to take the full wrath of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. Alright? And then you look at Zechariah. Look at the book of Zechariah. It's like, I can adjust the screen. This screen is bugging out, but that's alright. All praise to the Lord, Yabashima, Shabashima, Krakodash. Alright, so just give me 1 second. Just gonna stop with Ezra's, pull it up real quick. Alright, this book of Zechariah right there. Zechariah chapter 11, and then you read verse 5. And then it says, start with verse 4. Thus said the Lord Yahweh Shema Shabbat Shema Kakadash, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter. But that's the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, the Israelites that the Bible speaks of, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. And their own shepherds pity them not. Alright, so all the heathen nations, they have a hand in the enslavement of our people, but the Edomites will be the one to accept, to take, the whole burden of the judgment, man. All the heathen nations receive captivity, but only the Edomites will be wiped off, and that's a double whammy. And that's one thing these Edomites don't want to accept. That's why they come against the Holy Scriptures. And then you go ahead and you look at the book of Isaiah. There's so many precepts you could bring out, to address this situation. Alright, folks don't want to hear it, but it is true. Yes, it's going to be from the book of Isaiah, chapter 24. And then you look at verse 21. Yeah, it's just hilarious how this system acts, but it's no big deal. So it says, And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in prison, and after many days they shall be visited. Alright, so these Edomites, man, they're going to be destroyed. They understand what's going on, according to the scriptures, but they want to deny it. That's why they keep on setting up all these flunkies to come against the men of the Lord on highways and byways. Alright, and then when you read the book of Obadiah 1, verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau. For thus said the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Ashai. Alright, for the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Ashai Ba'ashim Kwakadash had spoken it. Alright, and that's one thing, Akim have to accept, man. Of all the nations that put us in captivity, the Edomites will be the one to be eradicated, man, of all of them, because That's where the Most High rolls, man. You know, he does his things in strange ways. All right. So all the impurities, you know, all the unrighteousness that Esau has put upon the face of the earth, you know, coming against the Spirit of the Lord by Shema Shai, the Most High has no other option but to destroy him. You know, all the other nations, they have a, you know, get some leniency, you know, they get some sort of pardon, you know, they get a so-called death sentence commuted. But the Edomites, man, they have no, you know, there is no way out for them, man, but destruction, but death, all right? And they don't want to accept it, but hey, it's not my problem. That's the gospel of the Lord by Shema Shai. And then you look at the book of Exodus chapter 21, verse 16. Alright, and then it says, and he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. Yep, it's that simple, you know. So these Edomites understand that the Holy Scriptures are based upon a solid foundation, and that they can't change it. They can't change prophecy. All right, so that's just the point there, Akim, man. You know, see all this so-called felony murder rule is from the Lord there by Shema Shai. You know, Esau society says, you know, when someone commits a crime, you know, and then his accomplice, you know, gets killed in the act, you know, he can be charged for that murder. And Esau's been an accomplice with his heathens too. You know, they're all doing the same thing, but he'll be the one to take the rap for everything, man. You know, that's where the Most High works. So that's a beautiful thing, man. The Most High has a sense of humor. You know, you see the hands of the Lord and everything upon the face of the earth, man. You're just like, wow. You know, you're surprised. So that's the point there. I can hope you're edified. You know, I pray the Lord Yahweh Shema shall continue to brighten your mind and sharpen your spirits. Shalom.